Hi everybody, it's Kristen. I just wanted to make this video about the Virginia Tech thing. Everybody's talking about it, and I'm sure you're all sick of hearing about it, but of course it's horrible, and I feel incredibly sad for the victims and their families and everyone at Virginia Tech. And it's totally frightening to think that something like that could happen on a campus. And I just think it's unfortunate because there were warning signs that something like this might happen with the person who perpetrated the crime, and basically I think he fell through the cracks. But I think that too often happens. I think it's well, we can look at the mental health care system and say, well, it was their fault or it was the school's fault, and maybe it was kind of everybody's fault, but people don't really want to they don't want to make mental health care a priority in this country, so nobody really cares about it until someone gets hurt or you have a loved one who is having problems or something like that. I know that it is very easy to just be held on a 24-hour hold or something like that, or even a 72-hour hold, and then get out and still not be well. And I've been on so many holds myself, and basically you just go in, and it's very difficult to actually get people to stay in the hospital until they're well, or to set up community services that will provide the ongoing care that people need once they have left the hospital. So many times the hospital is just a revolving door, and maybe basically someone just says, they act like they're better, so then they leave, and when they're not actually better. I think it's, thank God we don't have to be institutionalized. Thank God people with mental illnesses don't have to be institutionalized forever like they used to be, prior to the 1950s and stuff like that. And then when there was this big switch to community health care, the problem is that people were deinstitutionalized, and there were supposed to be community centers or community programs put in place in order to provide the care that people would need outside of a hospital. But unfortunately, those things were not considered a priority and were not funded, and so those kind of things were not built, the infrastructure, I guess, to deal with problems. I mean, we spend more money on jails, I'm sure, but this, I think Cho was his name, he obviously needed help, and I think that he could have been helped. I think a lot of his rantings sound like they were kind of psychotic, and he was angry at the world, probably because he was experiencing maybe some delusions or paranoia or something like that. And unfortunately, when that happens, sometimes people do things that are irrational, and I mean, I'm not making excuses for him, but you just, unless you've been there in that kind of situation where you have experienced your own paranoia, it's a difficult thing to deal with on your own. And if he didn't have the help that he needed, it's not surprising that this happened, that he killed himself, that he killed other people. And also another aspect that I think is important to to learn about from this situation or to look at is how this is kind of a symptom of how men are socialized to deal with their problems in our society, is that they're socialized to act out in violent ways and to act out against, I mean, his first victims were women, and he was in trouble before because he was like stalking women and harassing women and stuff like that. But it apparently wasn't taken very seriously, and that's sort of someone at my work wrote an article about this too, and how violence perpetrated against women is not really seen as serious as it really is. And I think we need to look at these things that happen and say, we need to take them seriously is what I guess I'm trying to say. And I don't know I think it's too easy to place blame, but I think it's an opportunity to say, what did we do wrong, and what can we do better to make this situation not happen again. It also happened in Columbine, of course. This is the 8-year anniversary or something. And again, we see that it's males acting out in violent ways. I don't know if the Columbine shooters were paranoid or anything like that. I don't really think they were, but it's a symptom of a problem with socializing men to act out their feelings, to act out their thoughts in violent ways. I know I sound like an uber feminist, but that's okay, because I am. But, so I think we have to realize that it's, not okay to teach violence if we can help it. I don't know, to find other ways to socialize boys and men rather than acting out in violence, and to socialize women to not act out violence on themselves. Anyway, and, maybe take a better look at our social structures like community mental health care and some of the ways we deal with mental health and deal with mental health issues, and find a better way so things like this don't happen again. I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I think it's a very tragic situation, and I do feel bad for all the people who died, even the shooter, because I think that he was probably a very disturbed person, and I don't really like that term, but he was obviously dealing with issues that were out of his control, and it's easy to look at him and think he's an asshole and everything, and but I think a lot of times when people are psychotic, they come across as really angry and mean and asshole-like, when they're actually having a lot of really, really intense paranoid thinking, which just, I don't even know how to describe it. Anyway, I'm running out of time. That's my little rant for right now. I might make one later, but I'm sorry for all of the tragedy. It's a shame, and I hope it doesn't happen again.